Today we're in the RX8 and we're going to make a video about the check engine light P0850, which is the neutral park switch for the transmission, which in our case, since we have a 6-speed manual, is basically whether or not we are in neutral. When you're neutral, the wheels aren't connected to the engine, so if you let off the gas, there needs to be fuel injected into the engine to keep it running. Whereas if you're in gear, you don't need to inject fuel because the wheels moving will keep the engine running, basically. So in order to sort of try and get the car running a little better, I'm going to try and take care of this check engine light today. Where are my jacks? Oh, there they are. Alright, now the car is up in the air, and we're going to go underneath and look at the sensor on the transmission. Once you've got a multimeter and a light, you should be good to go under the car. Under the driver's side of the car, you can see the starter motor under the transmission. And up here, you see a white pigtail. This is the neutral switch. The black switches right there are for reverse, and those are interchangeable if you're doing this test. On the other side of the transmission is this plug for the O2 sensor. If you take that off, you can get more slack on the other side. There we go. Okay. These are the pigtails that you're going to care about if you are doing the test on the white or neutral switch or the black or reverse switch. What you're going to want to do is we'll put the car in neutral, and we should have continuity between these two lines. And for reverse, continuity will be in reverse. Get out your multimeter, turn it on, move the selector to the picture that looks like a diode with some audio. What that's going to do is every time these two leads touch, it's going to make a sound. I will put one lead here and the other lead here, and this should beep if the sensor is working. And as you can hear, there's no beep. So if I just touch the prods together, I get continuity. Even if I touch them here, I'm not getting good continuity. So I'm putting it into the same exact pin that the other prod is touching. That's like touching two of the same piece of metal like this. Right? I'm just touching the transmission. I get continuity. In the same way, I should be able to touch this prod and get continuity. That tells me that it may not be that the sensor's broken, but we might just have a really bad connection here with these pins. So I need to find a way to clean these off, basically. And just to show you what would happen if it were working, I will put it in reverse. So now the car is in reverse. If your problem is that your car doesn't know when you put it in reverse, then this is how you test it. You get these same types of connectors out, these black connectors right here. You stick one lead in, and you stick the other lead in, and I've got continuity because my reverse switch is working. So anyway, let's try and clean these off so that they can work. I'd love to be able to get these out. It just looks like there's not going to be a good way to do that. So I'm using some 150 grit and a little pick here to push on the connector, or to push on the sandpaper. So I'm going to step up to 1500 grit sandpaper here. Let's see if we can get any of this corrosion off. And we're getting some nasty color stuff on the sandpaper here, so it's probably doing something. It's back in neutral, So let's see if we get anything here. Alright, so it works partially. Some of the surfaces are clean enough and some of them aren't, so I guess I have to keep cleaning. I went to the parts store and got some dielectric grease. So I go ahead and slap this on there. Hopefully that helps a consistent connection be made. And I've got to stuff back over the top of the trans here. Alright, so white to white, we're just completing a circuit. Doesn't matter which white plug goes into which white plug, so there's one, and the second one, and then I'll squirt some grease up into these reverse connectors as well, because I don't want to have to do this again. If anyone else owns the car, I don't want them to have to do it again either. There we go. So it's all hooked up. I guess the check engine light only comes on if you are driving over 35 miles an hour, and the clutch pedal has been depressed in and out 10 times. So I'll have to put the car on the ground and take it out for a drive to actually test it out. And it would be really annoying if I put the car on the ground and then it turned out that still wasn't making a good connection. Alright, so the first thing I'll notice is the car has not fully warmed up and the idle is no longer surging. So I'm going to get out my iPad here and rerun the check engine lights. Alright, I'm going to try driving and see if the codes come back. So I'll just do 10 clutch pumps and then driving 35 should make the light come back on. And now that we're back, check engine light never came back on after clearing it, so that's mission accomplished. All we had to do was clean the contacts, and I pretty much expected that. I didn't think I was going to have to change the sensor, but it's good that we didn't, because that would have been very annoying. Please leave comments if you have any questions, or if you want to say thank you. Feel free to subscribe to watch Autocross MR2 videos, or any more videos that I happen to make about the RX8. I would very much appreciate it. Most viewers of these types of videos find them by search and don't subscribe, which is absolutely fine. But if you are willing to subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.